Welcome to the Work in Process podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again today on this episode. 2024 is rounding up and we're about to enter into 2025. And I was not thinking of doing any other episode this year. I was just thinking of releasing stuff for next year. And that was why I released two episodes at once yesterday because I was like, okay, that's the end. And only for me to be encouraged and reminded by a very special guest who is with me on this set today that why not we just have a conversation about what is going to happen in 2025, what we are doing in 2025, and what is next for us, what is coming up. Let's just have a conversation about it on the podcast. And the guest with me on this podcast today is no other person than Excel, a big content creator. Just this year has been big for him on Instagram, just making several posts, having a lot of fans all over the world. He's a great guy, and he's still putting plans together for ACF, and he's doing very well as a chemical engineer. It's a big boy. Celebrate with me on this set today, my friend, my brother, Excel.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Welcome
It's
to
a
the Work in
pleasure.
Process podcast.
Yeah, I've been welcomed multiple
Yeah,
times.
you have been on this podcast several times this year, and it has been amazing. So
Yeah.
let's just start like this. What is 2024? Like, how was 2024 for you? What happened that you didn't expect? Or what were the things that you planned in 2023 that would happen in 2024 and they happened? How is 2024 for you in general and then in your space? Just tell us something about that.
2024 basically is learn fast. Like that's how it was. It was like learn fast, learn fast. When you make a mistake, that's just opening the door for the next opportunity that's coming on your way. And that was something I wish I knew a very long time ago because most of the times we don't know what we can do because we've not even tried the smallest bit of it that is coming to our head. So 2023 I started ACF. That was one of like didn't have a plan, didn't know what I was doing, but whatever. I just did it whatever way. But just that, I think it broke a lot of hard walls that I've not actually looked into. Sometimes we feel like we are gaining so much knowledge, but there's nothing we are applying. There's nothing we are doing with it. We are just gaining knowledge. But the wall of application, the wall of performance is broken by one mistake. You know, most people that break that wall of performance of bringing yourself out there and letting people know about you, um, they make mistake the first time. Most of them, it's only few that make it and say like, "Oh, I just tried it and it worked out."
Yeah.
So 2024 was okay. Since I've learned from 2023, I was like, "All right, I'll just keep doing something,
Yeah.
pivot, change direction." So it was like 4 years in one, basically.
4 years in one. Yeah, this year for me too was a lot, but not like a lot because doing your masters, I just changing location,
Yeah.
learning to live alone, cooking experience. So basic life skills of living alone. I learned a lot of that this year, even aside from the academic part of it. And then I also did a lot of podcast stuff this year. Got a mic. That's a big. I think we did an episode when we got that mic. I've released the episode. Got a mic. Released a lot of newsletter this year, a lot of podcast episodes, and just doing and growing from there. That's 2024 for me. There was nothing. Would I say everything is spectacular, but there was nothing like there was no one major achievement. I was like, this defined my 2024, which I believe some years will always be like that. They will always be like the putting things together year. Like the project I'm working on, my book and all. I didn't release anything this year, but like me working on my project is background. It may not look like something spectacular, but is bringing together what would be spectacular eventually. So that's how 2024 is for me. I will not say 4 years in one. You are a senior man, so I will not say 4 years in one, but I'll say it was a good year to like bring out some real things in me. Because if you have lived alone before, like I did, if you have never lived alone before, rather, and then all of a sudden a whole year was there where you had to live alone for most of the time, it would teach you some things that you would have not learned otherwise.
Mm.
For example, I had to begin to learn how to enjoy my company, just be by myself. And thankfully, I was reading books, I was doing those kind of things. But sometimes you just want to stop those things and have proper human to human interaction and conversation. Just feel somebody around,
Yeah.
or talk to somebody, shout on somebody, or just laugh because somebody said something or made a comment the way we used to do at home, that kind of thing. Because I'm already used to it. So living alone now taught me that sometimes you just have to be alone.
Mm.
But I now discovered again that is in that being alone most times that I get more productive.
Yeah.
So I can just eat in the morning and I'm not more eating throughout the day. No, I'm not responsible for anybody again, just myself. So
Okay.
I'll eat, just read, sleep, wake up, read, go on social media, and before I know it, it's already 9 p.m. That's the whole day. So I learned a lot practically this year because I was seeing the reality. I discovered that time is no longer the problem, that we don't have problem with time. Not knowing what to do is the problem, because when you don't know what to do, it looks as if you are wasting time, no matter what it is that you have done in that period of time. Now, these things I learned them by living alone.
Mm.
So I became more restless because I now discovered being idle is actually the problem. Time is not the problem. You say this year traveled fast.
Mm-hmm.
And now later, okay, it's not more about the year traveling fast. People that were actually doing something, the year was just like another year for them, like another business year. They want to know, okay, what was my revenue this year? Like it was another business year for them, not, oh, the year was running fast. No, the year was running properly, still 24 hours. Nothing happened to our 24 hours.
Yeah.
But because you don't know what to do, it looks as if time is slow or time is running fast. So
Mm.
I learned that this year also, just by being alone. And also more of your real self begins to come out. What I mean by that is that sometimes you think you are something, but when you are alone, you begin to realize you are not. For example, I discovered that, when I'm with people, I used to think I like being alone.
Mm.
I like isolation, but I now discovered that no, I don't like isolation. But because I'm more productive when I'm isolated, I would love to always create a time of isolation, even though I'm amongst people.
Mm.
So what I really enjoy is connection, but being able to still have access to a bit of isolation, knowing that after I come out of isolation, there'll be connection.
Mm.
I don't know if you hear what I'm saying.
You're
So I
right.
learned those things this year. So if I'm telling somebody these are my accomplishments this year, it's look like, what are you saying? How much did you make? What business did you start and stuff like that? So that is 2024 for me. We are still in 2024.
Yeah.
So that is 2024 for me. And I also noticed you started with Vingyang. I don't know how to call his name this year. I know. Tell
Yeah.
us a bit about that journey, your public speaking
Yeah.
journey, and then.
I think I knew Vin since last year, probably. Since last
But you
year.
were like you boiled down on him this
Yeah,
year.
like you know, if you're not serious about something intentionally, there's a different way your output will come out to be. So then I was listening to Vin as a YouTube short or an Instagram reel. But now I'm spending 2 hours, 3 hours on his master classes. So
Mhm.
that alone is time invested, and when time is in the game, it's as if skin is kind of in the game, and when skin is in the game, it gets more serious.
Mhm.
So that's I wanted to get better at what I do because I knew that was like my weapon. Like,
So will you say your public speaking game has been very much better since you've been
yeah,
following?
yeah, very
What do
much.
you use to measure that?
What I to measure that?
Eh.
Number one, number one is the art of making videos is not as easy as people think. Like
Mm.
you can think it is easy. I thought it was easy, but starting to make video, I know that no, this is
Real work.
like I would have said this is not my calling or something like that. Eh, like I knew like this is real work. But in the real sense, if you want to reach larger crowd and larger people to get what we know, we have to put ourselves
Your
out
face
and
out there, yeah.
yeah. So the YouTube what they call it
Algorithm.
insight or whatever algorithm will sometimes tell you how good you do or how well you are performing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that can even though that doesn't fully determine how well that video, like even though the speaking YouTube can't fully grade it.
Yeah.
But sorry, Instagram. But they tell a little bit of how you spoke.
Yeah.
So the fact of me getting myself back and giving myself a
Will help
thumbs
you
up,
like develop.
I think that's a milestone because I've never actually played myself in a video. Like it was like what they call that thing when you're like I squinting my eyes, like what is this? What am I saying? What?
And if you bought one book, I don't know if it's this year or last year you bought the book. That's How to Talk to Anyone.
Yeah, this year.
This year by Larry
Yeah,
King.
yeah, this year.
And that's one of the things he said in that book. Like record yourself speak and listen to
Yeah.
it. You will notice how many times you are saying all those fillers like like those kind of things. So if you record yourself speak and even record yourself if you're on TV, record yourself talking, you see how your hands are doing certain things that is distracting people.
Yeah.
Every time you're talking. You know, I used to do like they were banging their hands and doing all those unnecessary stuff with their hand. And you bought that book so that you can also improve. And I was privileged to also read the book last month. And you know, as a wise person, I couldn't buy the book, so I just I quickly stole the book and quickly gathered the wisdom from the book. So what will you say? Because before we start talking about 25, I want to break down this year. Like for example, you really posted a lot of content this year on Instagram, like a lot more than the average person.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noticed, you're not really boiled down about excellence, perfection, and all. You're just getting your message out there every week, something like that, or every day. You're just posting. Once you just say, hello everyone, today is 19th of December, and I am Emil like
if I tell you I don't like the intro to date, but I just
continue. The intro is like one of the reasons why I think the intro, you need to maybe work on it. You don't need to tell us the date.
Like I'm making it feel more like a journal.
Yeah, that's why I said because you are doing it for yourself and you're not even bothered about perfection at all. So saying the date is not really a big deal. But if it's that you want to like do fresh content, hey guys,
actually Vin had something like what I was doing even when I started. But you know, because of his team and everything, he doesn't say it. In part of the editing, they put the date
on it already, so it doesn't say something.
So like that's so if I can get a team, obviously I'll stop saying it. I'll just put it on top.
So that's why most people that listen to my podcast today will notice I don't edit my podcast. I don't, because the friction is too much. So I need, if I have a team now, maybe someone will be helping me to edit and all, I will appreciate it. But the friction, even my newsletter, I rarely edit them like having an editing time. I rarely do that because what I want to do is get the message out there and get used to getting the message out there rather than me feeling drained just to get one message out there. So it's not be fun for me to come back to do again. And like Ali Abda will always share, if something is not fun and you're not playing with it, you'll find it difficult to do. So the reason why I enjoy doing podcasts like this, for example, is that I know this raw file will just be what I would upload and then maybe write a caption, share it with some couple of people, and the whole world can listen to it and all. Because this year for me too has been like that. Especially when it comes to putting stuff out there too. When it comes to, especially with the podcast and my newsletter. Let me ask you first, how did you handle criticism? Because there was one of your videos that you addressed people saying, what is this one that you're even doing? You address them and you're like, they don't understand what it is. How did you handle it? Because I noticed you're not. I used to post on my Twitter sometimes. I'd be like, this guy is a crazy guy. Or no, he's not even trying to be perfect. He's not trying to be that kind of thing. How did you handle that? Because the human tendency is to want to watch good content.
Yeah. Even I myself, sometimes I look at everyone like, I still like, no, I can't watch this.
You can't even watch yourself. Like,
I can't watch.
This is terrible. It's terrible.
I'm like, I can't watch this. What? But it was intentional. I knew it was coming from me. Like, I knew it was coming from me. And that's one thing. If you check my iPad, you will see my face on my iPad in the Forbes edit. Those things were intentional moves I made. This year, I told my friend Naomi, I said, you know, I went on a book fast. Let me put it that way. And I wanted my name to sound something in people's head. Like, I wanted to do something so well and so much that whenever you hear Excel, like, what comes to your head is impact. What comes to your head is, what am I doing with my life? So when I knew people who took me with levity will find it hard to take me serious. like I'm a very humorous person, so it's kind of clashing. Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? But I knew that was coming for me. I knew the criticism were there, but since because of the fact that I've accepted it, so when it came, I'll just tell them. Sometimes these people meet me physically, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I understand. I like your
The message.
yeah, like
But-
it's true. Like sometimes it is very very true. Like
Yeah, what you're saying is
yeah,
right.
it's very true.
But bro,
But what I'm trying to do yet is not to erect a wall, it's to break a wall. I'm not erecting a wall yet. So 2024 is literally me breaking walls of criticism, of embarrassment. If I can get through that phase, then now I can put content out and say I'm mature enough to receive the comment
that's coming with it.
coming with it. So if I try to please everyone, I might have not done as much videos as
Yeah.
you see now. Because people actually gave genuine comment, genuine criticism about
Yes.
the journal.
Yeah.
But I planned for it. It was just
You know, one reason why told me it was cool, like I was like, nice one, guy. Because I'm also in the same space. For example, let's say my newsletter, I'm not a writer, like professional writer in quotes. So I'm not that kind of person that will write and then everybody will screenshot and post on their WhatsApp status like, this guy, see writing, see right. But whatever it is I write, people that are very familiar with me would be able to hear me talking through what it is that I'm writing.
Yeah.
Because I write the way I speak. So I have to be developing along the line. People are like, okay, writing is different from speaking. There's a way you do this, there's a way you do that. But I didn't get bothered about that at first. I was just putting out stuff. So sometimes I will reread my newsletter and I will see maybe like 1 or 2 grammatical errors. I'll be like, oh, that's gone. But from there again, I pick up myself and just keep making posts, keep making posts, keep making posts, keep making posts. Same thing with the podcast. Sometimes I do random episodes that I don't edit, like I mean individual episodes that are not conversational like this. Because I'm like, if I keep waiting for a perfect time or a perfect place to do all these things, when would I now do it? And this message needs to get out there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because I'm also in that space, I knew that what you were doing was like big boy things. I said, I know this one are big boy things. And that's why the video you made for me yesterday or the day before yesterday. So I was going to make one video. I didn't get to do it. It took us how many, like maybe 5, 6, 7 takes before we got at least one thing that I said, okay, let's just even use this one like this. So it starts like that. So that was why I didn't give. To me, I was almost saying that like, this guy's not bothered about perfection. He's a big boy. You get what I'm saying? So that person like, no, Excel, this is poor. This is poor. Me, I'm like, guy, see, this guy is just doing it. What a crazy guy. Mindset shift. Because high self-esteem. Can you see that perspective is different now?
Yeah, perspective.
Because me, I've tried something. Most of them that are criticizing you have not tried something.
That's true.
And they're afraid to try something because they don't want people like themselves to appear to them.
Yeah. That's true.
Write it down if you are listening to this podcast. So they're afraid of it because they don't want people like themselves to appear to them. For my newsletter, people have reached out to me, let me be helping you to edit. And I told them, yeah, help me to edit. But don't edit me out, number 1. Number 2, expect me randomly. If you want to be helping me to edit, expect me randomly. And it happened this year. Tisha was helping me to edit some stuff. And then one day I just texted her in the morning. I said, I feel 3 newsletters in me right now. 3 newsletters. I said, get ready to edit them right now. And I didn't know where they were going to come from. So that day, as day was going, I was a bit idle for a particular period of time. I just took my laptop and before you knew it, 3 newsletters came. I sent it to her, edited it for me. She was offline. It took her about a week before she saw it. By the time she was coming back, I had already scheduled the post, edited it Grammarly because those ones, they were for the moment. They needed to go out. So I'm already so used to doing that I'm comfortable. Whether I edit it or not, I just get something out there. And even this year, I made a big push by trying to reach out to somebody on Instagram. That's Tega Abiri, which is one of my favorite episodes of podcasts. I think that's one of my biggest experience in podcasting this year.
That was professional.
So easy. I just met the guy. We just spoke. The guy's amazing. I told him a lot about you. I was just mentioning my brother. Tega was like, I need to meet this guy. And the guy is really amazing. So me meeting that guy based on the wings of the podcast too was like something for me this year. Yeah. So 2025.
2025.
What's gonna happen? What should we be expecting from you, guy?
We've used the whole of 2024 to break walls. 2025.
Okay, so are you done breaking walls?
I'm not done. But now, like,
we are breaking and building.
We are like I feel there are more walls to break, but now there are phases of my life that have broken. Now criticism is no more a thing. It's not more a thing that I consider anymore. That's a wall broken. So now in anything I want to do, in everything you do, that's something people face. So that wall of life has been broken forever. So now I can start erecting walls because I know there is no more criticism syndrome in me anymore. Because now I just do it because I'm passionate about impact, and those who can relate what I'm doing find it interesting. So it's not like I'm done breaking the walls, but there will be more things done that will be like real. I need to have a team basically because I've never even I don't know how people have team, but I know those that have team. So I need to have a team
for the year.
Yeah, not
for the year.
Not THEME. I'm saying TEAM.
Okay, like a team. Okay.
Team. I need to have a team. Sorry,
like gather people together.
Yeah, gather people. Because now I understand that what I'm about to do in 2025 is something that I can't just do alone.
Yeah.
And I need people who are experts or love aspect that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like I know the guys in my school, I know guys
that love editing.
that I don't like. They love it. So getting those people and selling what I believe to them. And yeah, I feel that would be important in making 25
in 2025.
Yeah.
So what was it like? What was it? Is it like boiling? Are you boiling down on your videos? Are you okay? Are you now doing making impact for a living kind of brand? That what you do is like get people out of their chairs to take responsibility for their life. Are you now doing motivational speaking and public speaking? Are you something like that? Are you the next Vusi Tembekwayo?
I'm not the next Vusi Tembekwayo. Like I'm literally not. No,
you're not in that line.
I'm not.
Okay.
Not. You know, I'm more about seeing people genuinely change. Like seeing people genuinely change and causing I don't know. Sometimes I form words and I find out that they are real words. You know, like I said about modern slavery. I don't know, but it was formed from my head. Modern slavery, and now this one I call it phase shift. I don't know if it's a real thing. You can search it. I don't know, but I call it phase shift. Phase shift to me is like there's a way things have been going, but there are certain people who feel they are capable and they are crazy enough to cause people to think differently from the way things have been going. And that's what I believe I'm doing. You know, I'm not trying to continue a streak.
Okay.
But I'm trying to cause a phase shift in the mind of everyone across the world.
Okay.
And I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
And if you ask me to give an example of that, of course, a phase shift based on my definition, I'll say the likes of Steve Jobs. Of course, a phase shift. When Steve Jobs was giving birth to, there was never a screen. I don't know what they call that calculator because that's not my generation. They said it was given birth to a generation where the calculator they were using then was very, very crude. And before he died, you know, he built one of the largest companies in the world. I'm not just saying largest in terms of monetary. I'm saying largest in terms of causing us to think differently. You know, when Steve Jobs wanted to create a personal computer, people said it was shit, it was nonsense, it was not meaningful. But now, personal computer is the new norm. So that's what I'm trying to cause, a new norm where people understand that they can make things by themselves, basically.
Yeah.
That they can do things by themselves. They don't have to follow the way things have been done. That now, so that's basically the phase shift I'm causing. I'm not doing hardware product.
Yeah.
I'm not selling. I'm not the next Steve Jobs. I'm not. But what I have is the power of words and the power of causing the God-given gift in somebody to come out of the person.
So have you heard about men like Martin Luther King, men like Miles Monroe, men like John C. Maxwell, who they use power of words to get people to. So who are people you are looking at and looking up to in this area that you are talking about? Because you become like the people you follow.
Yeah.
So you must at least, even though you don't want to become like them. Your goal is to become above them or beyond them, or just become the truest version of yourself. But you need to still follow them. So what are the people you are following, looking up to, and say, okay, this year I'm going to give myself to the materials of these people?
Okay, it is so funny that two of people I'm looking up to are past. Yeah, like they are gone. And I've consumed a lot of this guy a lot. Like I'm saying, because he doesn't make content, obviously, and I just mentioned him, Steve Jobs. Now, it might sound people are like, why are they come to Steve Jobs? Like, what Steve Jobs did was something that we can't deny. They are tangible. So I don't think anybody listening to this podcast have watched an interview about Steve Jobs more than me. I don't think so. I'm talking about 1919 when it was still Next, like
Yeah.
when he was still building Next.
Next.
So then they didn't even give over to Apple.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been
Mm-hmm.
I've kept track of Steve Jobs for a while, but now I want to read his book basically and read more about his books. And secondly, Miles Moreau. Miles Moreau, I just find him somebody who is doing almost what I'm doing, but in a different way. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
I have a deep connection with
With him.
Masburo.
Yeah.
Yeah, a deep
Yeah.
connection with Masburo. Then now talking about somebody alive. It's so funny that names I'm mentioning might not be names that people um really
I'm
know
familiar
like
with.
that or are familiar with. It's Kennedy Ekeze. One reason why I like Kennedy Ekeze is that he is doing a lot. He's bringing a lot of good values back. He's bringing a lot of good information back. Like he's holding programs, he's holding conversations with people, and he's into the line of youth, not even the grown ones. And I feel that's very important, like the lesser generation, the lower
Mm-hmm.
generation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that's where the results tell more.
Mm-hmm.
So what Kennedy is doing is something that I found very profound, and I think it's something that I would like to do, but in a more larger scale.
Larger scale.
Yeah, more larger scale. But that's where it starts. Seeing
Yeah.
somebody is not yet there,
But like seeing
like
him
seeing him.
gives you creates a sense of possibility within you. You just feel
Yeah,
like I feel do this thing to
yeah,
create that
yeah.
sense of possibility. So why do you need a team? What are the key players now? The team you want to assemble. What are the key players? What I mean by which roles are the key players? Okay, do you need an editor? Do you need people like Tedgar? Do you need a personal assistant? Or do you need what is that? Have you thought about that?
Okay. Number one, the reason why I feel I need a team, just like how I learned from Dan Mattel, it was like sometimes the people that you are looking for, people on your frequency, like you used to say, sometimes they are never around you. Sometimes you can never get them around you.
Mhm.
Get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
have you ever been in a space where you're like nobody really
Yeah.
gets,
Yeah.
like nobody, and you look
Yes.
desperately,
Yes.
and nobody is on that frequency.
Yes.
So do you know what it said? Is that sometimes all you need to do is to get one person. If it's to travel to another place, to get one person on that frequency, then you will attract other people in that frequency coming to you. So one reason why I'm building a team is to get people who also think as big as I am. So now what am I saying is that when I can get people who are good at what they do, like for instance, I need somebody passionate about editing videos. Now the reason why I mentioned passion is that I don't just want someone that just do it.
Mm.
Passionate about editing videos.
Mm.
I need somebody who is good in terms of PRO. I don't know. Like
Like
is
PR.
good in telling people stuffs. Like
Okay.
telling people about this. Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? Like PRO kind of
Like
person.
good in people relation.
Yeah, people
Like
relations.
trying to
Yeah.
get people, trying to sell a concept and idea to people, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But that is also my job,
Yeah.
honestly. And basically, I think those are
But you need someone that can also do it
yeah.
and say, oh, this guy does this guy does this. Because for me also, you know about my projects that I'm working on, and 2025 is going to be a year of a release of a lot of projects, and I believe God is going to help me. I know that. So one of the persons I like that you mentioned, whom I also follow and I've been following, is like 300 level. I knew him before that, but I started following him probably since like 300 level. Is mine tomorrow. And the reason why I follow Dr. Miles Monroe is because of the kingdom element that he adds to it. And that's what I used to tell people. We were kingdom people.
Yeah.
So it's different for us.
Yeah.
In the sense that most of what we will do now must be tied to kingdom.
Yeah.
And somebody that has successfully done that is Dr. Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
And that's why I really appreciate the man.
Yeah.
And that's why most of what I want to do next year is get a release from God. I'm not saying, oh, I'll pray, maybe God, should I do it now or not? What I'm saying is get a release from God so that we can know when to launch it out. Because, like I told you, I said I'm afraid because I believe that this thing is going to cause a revolution. It's going to open up minds, especially with the target audience that I'm targeting the project towards. So the kingdom aspect of it, even in the project, the kingdom aspect is very loud. So that's what makes me admire the person of Dr. Miles Monroe. He's not religious. It's not about religion. It's not about Christianity. It's about the kingdom.
Yeah, it's about the kingdom.
It's about kingdom, taking over a particular domain, having dominion.
And the kingdom is phase shift, like I said, like it is people speaking the language of the kingdom. If people don't speak the language, you've not actually taken territory. And I think many Christians lose that part.
Yeah.
We just feel like, oh, if I build a church here, we'll get more members and everything is fine. But people around you are not speaking the language
so there's
of the kingdom.
There's no way you can even attract more people if it's members.
They are focused on.
And that's why the word God actually gave me, I believe God revealed to my heart for 2025 is come up either. And I believe the reason why God was gave me that word is that there are some things required of me to do, both spiritually and physically, in terms of taking responsibility, that requires the help of the Holy Spirit to do. And He wants me to come up with that, meaning that I should acknowledge that, yes, I need to do this thing and be willing, and then give myself first, even though it's physically, to wanting to do them. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Like give myself, like for example, one of the things is regular fasting, like making it an habit. Now I'm like, God, how do you want me to just keep fasting? I may be busy, I may be working. How do you just want me to be fasting? And it's like, come up either. Regular meditation, the practice of meditation, becoming serious with it, is saying, come up either. You have stayed on this plane for too long. Come up either. I know you have made little progress, but come up either. Why are you afraid of launching out? Come up either. Because if you don't come up, there are some things that you want to change that you can't change. If you don't rise up and take responsibility, there are some things that you need to change that you can't change. And that cut across family, that cut across what it is that I want to do. Meaning that, having that divine insight and divine direction that, oh, I believe God wants me to launch this project by May. And the reason why May is that there will be traffic on it, because I desire traffic too on that project. So a lot of ideas are also dropping, initiatives are also dropping that, okay, it's linking up with the project. That's my 2025 now. That's what we're talking about. So that's my 2025. A lot of ideas are coming with that project. You are well aware of the project. So a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts are coming into with that project. And then there's the part of, the spiritual assignment part that we have to now begin to give ourselves to. And that's why I said I love Dr. Miles Monroe so much. Another man I also admire like that is John C. Maxwell. Those guys have been able to blend secular and kingdom. Like we are in this world, we are not separating it. So we're not just shining in the church, we are shining everywhere. Business, I can go there and talk and everybody will be able to relate with me. Government, I can go there and talk and everybody will be able to relate with me. Entertainment, I can go there and talk and everybody will be able to relate with me. Not like I'm just, everywhere I go to, I'm just saying, you can't understand, these are deep things from the scriptures. They'll be like, you are not serious, when you're ready, come. It's just like that tailor I'm telling you about. Sometimes you see some things about him. I don't want to mention his name on this podcast because Baba is a big man. But you see some things about him back then when I was checking him out. I'm like, he's hanging out with this set of guys, all those, in quotes, worldly guys.
Yeah.
But today, we see him with men of God and other people putting mantle on his hand. Amazing guy today, doing stuff for God. But I'm sure he's not only sewing clothes for Christians. Me, I'm sure.
T.Y. Bello.
She's not yes, T.Y. Bello, there's no problem with that. We mentioned their name now. She's not only taking pictures for Christians,
but you know her
standard, you know what she represents. That's why you say anywhere you get to, let people know you.
Yeah.
Once they know you too, they know what they can bring to you and what they cannot bring.
Yeah.
And then you too, you also know how to relate with them. Some places I will get, some people will be calling me pastor. Not because I said I'm starting a church. Not even because I've preached Christ to any of them. But they know my routine every evening. So there's some things they want to do they'll be like, pastor, no fit do that kind of thing. Oh. They'll just into that pastor, we don't come meet you because we know say you know go like do. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So when you allow people to know you, there's some things you not even bother about. And that's what 2025 is going to be about. It's going to be a year whereby we are coming up either. We are coming up to where God wants us to come to in the place of sacrifice, in the place of responsibility. Like Bishop people will say, nothing works until people work it. I'm telling you,
No,
you have to take responsibility.
basically, it was on the one that received one of the word for next year about, like, people say this year shall be like 5 year in one, this year in one. You can check. I think that was the second or third Shiloh. This Shiloh that passed said, Bishop said next year shall be like 50 years in one. I've never heard anybody use the word 50 years,
I'm telling
and
you.
my head ran. So that means you're saying next year, add 50 to my age. That's what I would leave.
That was able to cover.
I'm going to cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's.
And indeed for them, for the winners family, once they launch that arc like this, that's like 100 years in one. It's like 100 years.
So that was one of the word I received for next year. So and 50 years in one means, and that thing which I receive as reflections. That's strength. 50 years in one means that you must be able to wake up time people don't wake up, be able to sleep later than people sleep.
Yeah, that's coming up.
So that's the meaning. You don't just.
But you see that thing. Let's talk about it small. If you listen to a lot of Steve Bartlett, Ali Abdal, and others, I hope people listening to this podcast will understand what we are also talking about. They used to bring all these medical professionals and people that are successful, and they'll be like, they're now beginning to realize that they're supposed to be sleeping 8 hours, they're supposed to not sleep late so that their health can be okay. But before they ascended to that height of success, they'll say, I was bad then, I was not sleeping well, but now I realize the importance of sleep. Sleep is good. What must we do to be okay? Because at the same time, we know that sleep is good, yes. But we know that what you achieved couldn't have been possible if you were sleeping the way we want to be sleeping now. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say about that is,
because a lot of them sleep 6 hours, 7 hours. It's good. Work-life balance. Clinical. I
think that's science of we are meant to sleep for 8 hours. I think it is not new, but it's just coming up again because now people are saying that there are too much content saying sleep 4 hours.
Rest. You have to give your body rest.
Before even before this year, I think around that 2015, then those kind of time, we hear things like I sleep 4 hours daily. I did this. There was only this guy. He said he just naturally sleeps late. He said why? He said that's when he receives his contract. I don't know who gives contracts at night. I don't know who gives contract at night. I don't know. But what I've discovered is that, think about it, fasting 100 days, is it right health-wise? If you should ask a professional doctor and tell him that, sir, I'm going on 100 days fast, advise me, should I? Do you think he will say yes?
Well, I don't think so. They will be telling you that, okay, fasting is not bad, but 100 days is too long. It will cause this, cause that.
So people are doing it. So does that mean they hate their health? You know what I got to discover, even studying about the strength which I need for next year? I've been studying the Isaiah 40 from 21 to 31. I haven't studied the whole Isaiah 40 because I wanted to understand every single thing in that place. Still studying it. But what I got to understand is that God put us in this flesh because the real you is not your flesh. We understand that. Real you is the spirit because we are spirit. We are like God, and God is not a man. God is a spirit being. So the real you is a spirit being. So he put on an unlimited being in a limited body. So if you want to do something that is unlimited, you need to tap back into your unlimited self. That's the reason why these people that are doing the largest impact now, like famous and often, they say that they worked tirelessly before now. You know, it is the law of sowing and reaping. Sowing is never easy, but now I think the content out there now is just saying relax, and what I'm hearing is reap, and you can't reap if there's nothing to reap. So the law of sowing and reaping will never leave the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You must sow to get an
And I
harvest.
must reap. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the content now that we are hearing most of the time, it is I think it's not balanced enough. I think it's not balanced enough. But they are speaking based on their professional background. Like I'm a doctor, so this is what I've got, this is what I found out. But if you ask them what did it take to be a doctor, they will tell you more than what they
More
are telling
than,
you
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. That's the truth. So I believe to do something worth of 50 years in a year, if you think based on your flesh, which is limited, you can't accomplish it. Your flesh means do what of a year in year, like do 1 year in 1 year. That's what your flesh is telling you. But to do something that is beyond normal is to think beyond your flesh and go back to your real sense. Because that's scripture that it says in Isaiah 40 verse 31 that said, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Renewal of strength there is not a new strength. It's not strength from outside. When you use the word re, it means that it was lost, like replay, review. Replay means it has been played before, now you are playing it again. So when we use that word renew, when God created man, he deposited everything man needed to triumph in life. God is not giving us something unique. So let us make man in our image and in our likeness. So when he created you, he gave you the full strength you need to execute his assignment. But renewal of strength is renewal of mind. That means you are going back to your initial state. The more we lose sight of who we are in Christ, the weaker we are. Because in the real sense, what makes us like Christ is our consciousness about Christ. And that is what your Bible is saying. That's why the Bible is for, whenever we look at the Bible, all the Bible just says are remember me. Remember me. Because in the real sense, what made Christ exist is like his mind. If man cannot think, we can't be like Christ. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's our mindset that make us like Christ.
Yeah.
So if you can't think, that's why a madman, if he can't think, if they can steal your ability to think, you can't be like Christ anymore. And that's what the devil attacks. So renewal of strength here is renewal of mind. That means going back to the fact that, because think about it. Well, imagine the creator of iPhone now. He's saying that to make your iPhone stronger, bring it back to the company. But he has made everything the iPhone needs.
Yeah, in such a way that all you need is just a software update.
Yes. All you need is there is no hardware update. There is no something. And hardware just telling me out in. Hardware means out in. Software means in out. That means it comes from within to outside. So nothing of God comes from outside to within. Look at the Bible, everything is from within to outside. Because in the real sense, God is within, is not outside. He's within.
Christ in me.
In me. So that was what God was telling me about the strength that
Greater is he that is
in me. Bible has never referred to anything tangible as something physical.
So if that same spirit that rose just from there, just inside of you. I can turn this into preaching now. So what do you have to say? I'm angry. I'm passionate about this, and you know too. Social media is killing people.
Yeah.
People are dying. And it used to pain me because I understand how addictive social media can be, because the thing is anything that is addictive has a drawing power. So it's drawing me too sometimes. So I have to always fight back against that drawing. But it has drawn some people and it has finished them. Both young, both old and old. What is the problem? What can we do? Or what do you think is the assignment of people like me and you that is annoyed with all this kind of thing? Because we can't eliminate social media. It has come to stay. And it has its benefit. That's why you tell people, I'm not talking against social media. I'm talking against the use of people as it relates to social media. Because I've spoken a lot about taking advantage of social media. I do most of my productive activities on YouTube. That's where I get my sermons. That's where I get some of my podcasts on YouTube Music. And I listen to these things. But at the same time, I go through some people's timeline and I'm like, what is going on? And most times they won't listen to us because they believe that, okay, we've not started producing the result of most of the things that we are saying. Which to me too is like, it's even true. Let's say I've shown these guys one or two things that I've been able to do with this thing, which they are coming. But if I've shown them, maybe they probably would have believed me. What do you have to say about that in general? Because that's one area I'm passionate about in 2025. I want to get people to just switch off your phone and go and do something profitable. or just delete social media platforms. And because I'm sorry, if you're listening to this and you're angry, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm saying it's not that I'm saying don't do social media, but I'm saying don't let that thing take over you. I'm not saying this because people used to say that it's fun to say, it looks as if you are productive. I'm saying that because I know the effect on me. When I stay too long on social media, I feel super unproductive, sha.
Mhm.
Whether positive or negative social media. Because that's the mistake some people used to make too. You just keep scrolling, every content you're just seeing is you can do this, you don't have to fight. Motivational content. Don't give up on yourself. For 1 hour, that's what I just say. You will just become a fool.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's too much motivation, but you are not doing anything. So
Mhm.
you will just become a non-entity, sir. What do you have to say about that? Because I'm already speaking with too much passion again now. If I start preaching about this thing, people will say it's me. What do you have to say about that?
Firstly, every time I see bad content on social media or people who are addicted to social media, I tell myself it's by fault. You know, to control something means that you must be in the powerhouse.
Mm.
And the people in the powerhouse, that's what they want. Like that's look at one of the biggest rising social media platform, TikTok, for example. Don't tell me TikTok don't want people to view their
Yeah, they do.
content more. So that's what they want. So to really influence change in a particular field, we should ask now that you're angry about it, how can I get to the powerhouse? Is it by
Ours is in China
creating?
now.
Is it by no? Powerhouse is not a place. Powerhouse is not a place. Powerhouse is where there's concentration. Like where people focus on because attention is what makes something valuable.
Mm.
If there's less attention there, it has less value, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I draw attention to myself, which is not yourself, to God?
Mm.
And
Sorry, because I get what you're saying. I just want to you continue.
mm,
Because even Christian people are creating content that are disturbing Christians. You are praying. You say you used to wake up 12 a.m. to came to pray.
mm,
You are doing video.
mm,
Now you have woken up again for prayer. That
mm,
God has been answering all your prayers. I know. Some people are not even praying, but they are just consuming your own prayer content.
mm.
Some people they will say how strong women pray. They will not put the video. They will be playing one spiritual song. They will not put their Bible. But you are recording yourself. We know that what you are doing is content creation.
Mm. I get what you mean.
You come to church, they'll say, let's praise God. You brought out your phone. They say, you are praising God. You're not praising God, you are creating content. Because you may say, oh, you are using it to evangelize. But when have you spoken to somebody to one-on-one? If you're really passionate evangelism, when have you spoken to somebody one-on-one?
Mm.
I'm not saying I speak to people one-on-one every day because I don't do video. But I'm saying, if that's your passion, you shouldn't just limit it to content. And as I hate using the word content, it feels somehow. So please continue.
This this issue that you brought up, I don't like thinking about it. I'm asking myself, can social media be wiped out or reduced? And for both answers, sounding like no, it can't be wiped out, and I don't think it can be reduced.
But it
But
can
I
be
think it
controlled.
can just be reformed.
Hey.
No, I think
Hey.
it can just be reformed because
Mm.
thinking about it, now social media has helped people who can start a physical business.
Mm. Mm.
It has it has helped those that have zero now. Like now you hear a lot of story of people that came from nothing to something. They did that by the aim of social media, by the use of social media and online platforms. And thinking about that kind of help, look at people like Tunde Onokoya. You know,
Yeah, chess in this one.
like it has done a lot of good things. Like if we look at the good things,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
has done a lot of good
I
things.
agree.
And to me, I just feel like there just need to be a balance. Like the balance is there should be a lot of physical outreach. Like, do you know what I feel? I feel the people in charge of bringing all this nonsense content out, content that did not edify God really, is because they are the one there. So they've released a lot of videos. So
So
They've saturated the space.
the algorithm will just keep
It just keep
bringing
helping
back
them to be to
their
their favor. Why do you think that every ad that comes your way is nonsense most times?
mm,
So like, why can't we
enter there
enter
and
there
also
also?
saturate it.
Yeah. So by that way, when we saturate it, then we can, once you own something, then that's when you have influence. Once you own people's attention, that's
Yeah,
why they say
yeah,
Ronaldo have influence,
yeah.
because he has gained maximum attention.
Attention.
So now he can say, "Don't buy this product."
And people will
Everybody,
know.
nobody will buy it.
Mhm.
So now we need to get attention. We need to get their
We need to get to
attention.
that level.
We need to get our attention. If we don't have their attention, we will just keep talking like this. So we need to get their attention. When we get attention, then we can direct it. Now we own
the attention.
the
They will
attention.
now direct it to what we want it to be on.
Yes. Because in the real sense, I don't think it's going.
So that's the reformation.
Yeah.
Because I'm just angry. I'm like, what's wrong with people?
I don't
What's
think it's
wrong?
good.
Because I see elderly people.
Yeah.
Elderly people, and
I think
they're the ones
that's
that
a
annoy me
fact
the
that
most.
is this thing.
They don't know, it's the elderly people that annoy people. Because when they want to talk about social media, they will still come and talk about it as if it's only the young ones that are doing something wrong. Do you get?
Yes.
So I'm like, what is actually going on? This thing has got it's like a spirit of distraction. It's no more, it's beyond social media now. It's a spirit of distraction in a subtle way. And it's influencing conversations, it's influencing parenting, it's influencing friendships, it's influencing. You see some couples, everything they run is based on one TikTok video to another. They don't even have conversations with themselves. They don't know how to think original thoughts. It's, oh babe, I saw this on TikTok. Should we do it? Or they act, or they say, let me try this for my boyfriend. I saw it on TikTok. Let me do this to my husband. I saw it on TikTok. And then people are no more inspired by the word of God. They're inspired by what they saw on TikTok. Even though some people are Christian couples on TikTok, must you take it from TikTok? Why don't you go and check it? This is what they did. Where is it in the word of God? Or what scripture backs up what it is that I saw? Or what this person said? So it's an area I'm really passionate about. And if I'm privileged next year,
I just think we need to want their attention, because I'm telling you, if you search for people that have benefited genuinely,
it's going to benefit us too now. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad, or I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying what is wrong, because what I've come to discover is that everything good, the devil has always corrupted it. So social media initially was for connection between people.
It's just that
what the devil do, he corrupted it.
Yeah, the people with the power are not the right people.
Yeah.
So I think that's the real problem with social media.
Yeah.
But think about it. When personal computer started to boom, oh my, Apple had problems, IBM had problem. Like, people were speaking against. I think people saw this time right from then.
So they were now already speaking. It's going to take our connection.
Yeah.
It's going to reduce from us. Just like people are talking about AI now.
Yeah.
That very soon. We'll not even talking to each other again.
So that's why I think we should let God use us to
influence the space.
Yes. We need to be at the powerhouse. That's the major thing. You just need to be at the powerhouse of everything. If you're at the powerhouse, then you can direct people.
And then keep pushing for influence.
And then, like, I don't think they are leaving. I don't think they are. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. We've spoken a lot, and we are almost using up to an hour already. Amazing discussion. But I want to talk about something you've been talking about recently for the past 1 month now on your page, which is modern slavery.
Yeah.
Just give us a lecture on that.
Yeah.
No.
I really like because it's something I've been working on and I'm not done working on it currently, and I make sure I'm picking my references from the Bible. So nobody will just come and tell me stuff like no. Most of the time, God gives me concept that I can be battling for a while. Sometimes I can be in the toilet. This thing has been in my mind, but God just say, I've been showing you this, but you've not been paying attention to it. So modern slavery didn't come as a fact of studying something. It was just snacking in my head, like it's in my mother's. What's that? Then boom, everything gathered up, and I'm still studying the 14th Amendment, and I'm taking it very, very slow. Those in my department will tell you that I've been watching this documentary for a very long time. So modern slavery to me now is like, I think this is the one of the toughest slavery that humanity will ever experience. And why did I say toughest slavery? No, the worst thing the devil can do to a man is to own his mind.
Mm.
And that's modern slavery. Modern slavery now is not saying we know you by the stripes at your back, we know you by the color of your skin, we know you by your sexuality, we know you by, those were things that were called slavery then. Are you a man or a woman? Men, when women were suppressed, this is on black or white. But now, modern slavery is not talking about any of those things.
Mm.
Modern slavery now is saying, how do you think? Like modern slavery now is attacking the mindset of people.
Mm.
And what is slavery? In my short way of defining slavery, it works out in any other thing you want to define slavery as. Slavery is simply taking the will of a person or a thing.
Mm.
That's slavery. So that means you own that person so much that he can't make a decision on his own. That's slavery. He almost even can't make a decision. You choose what you want him to do.
Mm.
So if you like call it in terms of physical, in terms of mindset, whatever, that definition, I've tested it, I've tried it everywhere, it works everywhere.
Mm.
Slavery is simply taking the will of a man.
Mm.
And just speaking about social media, that we're talking about social media is a form of modern slavery.
Mm.
Many of us, the dopamine we receive from
Mm. Let's continue.
social media alone is a form of slavery,
Mm.
where we can't just leave it. We just keep scrolling.
Mhm.
So at that point, your phone determines what you get to do. You don't determine what your phone gets to do. Like
Mhm.
your phone tells you, stay up all night, keep scrolling, keep
Mhm.
scrolling.
Mhm.
So that's modern slavery in short. But I think we don't really have much time. Like I really want to
Yeah,
dive deep
yeah.
into this. So
Maybe we'll
that's
probably do another episode on that modern slavery thing,
mm,
because even the mics are already giving us signal that we've
mm.
done up to an hour. All right, so thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Work in Process podcast, and I do really hope you guys have a lovely 2024 ending and then a beautiful 2025. So as we go further in the year, we'll be releasing more episodes and then we'll be having conversations like this. And you can also check Excel's journey out on Instagram. He'll be talking more on the concept of the modern slavery
Yeah.
stuff there, and they can know more about that, because he was not really able to delve into this thing deeply. And please, if you are listening to this podcast and God is laying it in your heart to get me a recording space, no problem. Just pay for the recording space. We would get other people to equip the space, and then we'll be having a more robust podcast session, video podcast session, and all. Excel, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I
Really appreciate your time for having this conversation with me.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.